first, as you just saw on Paul Murray Live, we had the alternative Prime Minister right here in the studio answering questions from people all around the country. He talked about everything from taxes to regional development and the woke virus. And I got to ask Joe and Liz, where has this Peter Dutton been? He came across as strong, he came across as personable, he came across as relaxed, sincere, and a person who genuinely is concerned about making Australian lives better. You just have to wonder whether perhaps the media haven't given him a platform such as he got tonight, where he can just relax, be himself. He's not avoiding and dodging gotcha questions. He's just talking to ordinary Australians about what he plans to do to make the country better. My favourite part, Joe, of the interview tonight was where Peter Dutton was asked about domestic violence. And, of course, he talked about his experience as a police officer in Queensland. And I've got to say, it's so nice and refreshing to hear from a politician with, what do they call it, Liz? Lived experience. Someone who hasn't been in politics his whole life but has been out in the community doing the sorts of things, facing the sorts of things, grappling with the sorts of issues that normal people deal with. And the way he answered that with incredible empathy, compassion, a man who understands normal people because prior to going to politics, he was one.
He had a life. Oh, we love that in our politicians. And sadly, it is a rarity when you get career politicians like Albo. Has he ever had a job outside of politics, Joe?
His job is politics, Liz. He lives and breathes
Oh, that's the best answer you can give.
He did work for a year in a bank, I think.
Because the short answer is no, he hasn't. That's all he's ever done. But you're quite right. It's refreshing to hear from an alternative Prime Minister who, prior to that, like you say, as a cop, has seen people from all walks of life in all kinds of different situations and had to deal with them there on what we call the front lines here in Australia on a daily basis, year in and year out. It was incredibly refreshing. You ask, where has this guy been the length of the election campaign? I'd say all politicians play to the crowd that they're addressing. And we all know that you guys sitting at home, you're a friendly crowd when it comes to the Libs, whereas he has been under a lot of attack this election. I mean, you've got this Albanese government who's determined not to be the first one-term government since the 1930s. I don't believe that was ever going to happen, and I do believe that we will see a Labor win on Saturday. But these guys have been the underdogs all along, and I think you've got to play your cards accordingly.
Yeah, look, I thought it was very lovely and warm and intimate, and it's good to see politicians be human, and I don't think we see enough of it. And I think a lot of us in the media, we say, oh, you're two-dimensional, you're just doing the talking points, and then the minute a politician actually starts to speak and talk as a human being, we jump on anything that they say that deviates from the norm, and then we beat them about the head for it. So I think that is an unfortunate thing, and it's good to see Peter Dutton sort of have that kind of just conversational kind of fireside chat kind of tone. I think I've met Peter Dutton a number of times in informal settings, like social settings. I've always thought he was a really nice, decent man. I've never liked the demonised Dutton campaign, but it has been incredibly effective. And I think that, and I think there's also been circumstances sort of beyond his control, but he for a while it looked like being Trump-like was a real election winner, and it was until it wasn't, and that's hurt him. And the policy stuff, I think, has also really hurt him. The fact that things like the working from home debate got away from him
didn't last longer than a breast mint.
Yeah, and I mean, it could have either perhaps been kept within its rails better if it had have been out there percolating in the community for longer, so they understood what it was, or it should have been killed off a long, long time ago. At first sight, instead of halfway through the campaign. So I don't know. I mean, it's hard to know what, if anything, can turn Peter Dutton. I mean, half the nation, almost a third at least, have already voted, and so it's very hard to know what could win it from here. But he's a good guy. Good guys are rare in politics.
It was a great interview, and well done to not just Paul Murray for hosting that, but to well over 20 Sky News viewers who sent in really good questions.